Every spiritual seeker has a natural desire to know about their previous birth. How can one discover it? And what are the benefits and risks of doing so?
The desire to know about one's previous birth is natural for almost everyone. However, discovering a past life is not as simple as it may seem. It is possible to know your previous birth. Nowadays, there are even technologies that can guide a person into a trance state. In that state, you temporarily lose awareness of your present identity and become connected with your subconscious mind. Once you reach that condition, any questions asked are answered spontaneously, and everything you say is recorded. During the process, you are not disturbed or interrupted in any way. Such technologies are already available in the Western world, and undergoing this process typically costs between 2 and 3 lakh rupees. However, it is also possible to discover your previous birth by yourself. For that, you must journey into the depths of your own spirituality and become one with your soul. This becomes possible only when your thoughts have completely ceased, your mind and heart is free from emotional disturbances, and your breath has become extremely slow and gentle. In such a state, your inner condition naturally becomes similar to a trance. Then, the awareness of your previous birth begins to arise from within, and you no longer need to depend on anyone else. You will gradually come to know for yourself who you were in your previous life. Gautama Buddha also perceived his previous births. Mahavira, too, explained a method for knowing past lives. It is essentially the same method that I have described to you. Knowing your previous birth can make certain aspects of life much easier to understand. However, at times it can also create great difficulties. Once you become aware of your past life, those memories may remain in your conscious mind, and later it can become very difficult to free yourself from them. Let me share a real incident with you. There was a woman who was a doctor in her present life. Over time, she developed a deep interest in spiritual science and became eager to know about her previous birth. However, her guru advised her, "It is better not to know." Once you discover your past life, those memories may become very difficult to erase. If your previous birth was highly elevated, you may begin to think too highly of yourself. On the other hand, if it was unpleasant, it may fill your mind with feelings of inferiority and self-condemnation. But the woman was unwilling to accept this advice. She believed that since she had attained considerable spiritual growth in this life, she must have lived an equally noble life in her previous birth. Eventually, she was guided into a past life state, and everything she said was recorded. Later, the recording was played back for her. After listening to it, she became deeply distressed, emotionally shattered, and mentally unstable. It took a great deal of time and effort to help her recover from that condition. When she entered her previous life, she herself revealed that she had been a prostitute whose livelihood depended on pleasing men. When she became aware of this past identity, you can imagine the emotional shock she experienced. It was not only she who came to know about it. Everyone involved in the recording process also heard her account. Although only a few people knew the details, she developed an overwhelming feeling of humiliation and deep inferiority within herself. Therefore, if you truly wish to know your previous birth, try to discover it through your own inner spiritual journey. If you depend on external methods or other people, the experience may become painful for you. Instead, go into the depths of your own consciousness. Gradually, the understanding will arise naturally from within. This is the highest approach and the most authentic method. That is all I would like to say on this subject.